I'm Michael
Hello.
Lamport from Rescue Mediums, and with me is Jackie Dennison, who is the one of the hosts of Rescue Mediums, and we are delighted to have Megan with us. And this is going to be like our first sort of show entitled The Psychic Diary. And we're going to explore with Megan how she got into the realm of the paranormal and what she's doing with people, especially people that are younger, uh, younger than Donald Trump, who's like 174. And so why don't we just get right into it with Megan?
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Hey,
I'm very well, thank you. Very well,
Good.
how are you?
We're good. We're all in lockdown everywhere, all around the world.
Yeah.
So it's good that we can connect like this. So yeah, I know a fair bit about you, Megan, because we met when you were fairly young. So Michael doesn't know this. So can you just explain to Michael and to the viewers who are watching, how old were you when you first realized that you were psychic, and then how we came to be connected?
A long time ago. I was probably about 7 years old. But I did, at that age, I was too young to understand what it was. So I didn't really think anything about it. I just saw spirits, saw people, and thought, oh, right, okay, whatever that is. I just thought they were ordinary people. And then as I got older, I kind of like became more aware of what was happening. So when I left, I can't remember now, when I left secondary school, I went to college. That was when I was about 16, and that was when I became more aware of it. And it was the perfect place because it was at Manchester College, very haunted. So obviously, spirit everywhere. I'll tell you.
What were you seeing, Maggie? What were you seeing in college? What, because you said it's very haunted. What kind of things were you seeing there?
Lots of ghosts, spirits. So I'll tell you a little story. So I did music. I studied music at the Manchester College, and it's a very, very old building. And when I went, I didn't know anything about the building, any history or anything like that. And obviously, I was focusing more on my music rather than seeing spirit. And we did quite a lot of rehearsals as a band, and the rehearsal rooms were underground, and just because of the sound, they had to have soundproof walls. So when I walked in, I just knew there was something very odd about the room, that area of the college. So I didn't think anything of it at the time. But anyway, I got on with it. We played in our band. And then I was at college at the time when I found out about the history. And because I used to see spirit down there walking up and down the corridors. It was really bizarre. Honestly, it did freak me out. Because at the time I was really open to spirit. I didn't know how to close down. My chakras were wide open, so spirit was like straight to you, easy access. But the history was, it used to be a morgue where we rehearsed. Yeah, it used to be a morgue. It used to be, the actual building used to be a hospital. And I think what I remember was it was for the war at the time. The ward was it was a hospital. It was used for patients. Yeah, and then I left college, and I got the odd job here and there in retail places, and I just got on with my job. But at the same time, I used to see spirit again. Didn't really think anything of it until I was about, I would say 16. Oh no, not 16. But moving forward, 18, 19. And then I got a job in a music shop, and it was really haunted there. I used to tell the staff, but I didn't really go on about it because I was shy and people didn't understand. But I did used to tell my family and my mum, and then it was just getting a bit out of control really. I was dreaming about spirit, and I made that connection then when I was older, that when I saw spirit, they used to speak to me. Because when I was younger, I just saw spirit. They didn't make that connection. I didn't hear anything or sense or smell or anything like that. But as I grew up, got older, they made that connection with me. I don't know why they left it till then. Maybe I could handle it then. But they used to tell me really random things or the names and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, who's that for? There's a customer in here, and who's that spirit? Who did it belong to? But I never said anything. And this is why I'm doing this now, because if I would tell my younger self, if I would give my younger self advice, I would say, make sure you do speak out. Because I used to go home and they wouldn't leave me alone until I say something. I don't know if you've ever had that, Jackie. But until I actually pass that message on, then they would leave me alone. So yeah, I wasn't closed down either. I was wide open to spirit, so they never went away. But yeah, that's the
background. That's the background. So Michael, I think it would be a great place, Michael, for us to investigate that music college, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm just wondering, Megan, when you started to feel this and see this, did it scare you, or were you open to, hey, this is okay, or did it frighten you?
Both. I was leaning more towards being. I wasn't scared. I was more. I would say a bit unnerved by it, because I knew as I was growing older, I knew what it was, and I did a bit of research and blah blah blah. But the bit that did frighten me was when they wouldn't leave me alone at night, and people portray spirit and ghosts at night, don't they, and turn it into something really spooky and scary, and it kind of went that way. So that's when I did get scared, because I was dreaming and having nightmares, and I did want them to stop, because I wanted to concentrate on my career, my job. Then I ended up having this as my career, because I went that way. Spirit forced me to go down that route. So, and I'm really glad I did. Really glad.
We met through your mum, didn't we?
You did. You did. I was about turning 16, and it's it's a really nice story actually. It was around Halloween time, and my mum was actually in the car by herself, and because I used to tell my mum about these stories, and she really wanted to help me, and she was in the car listening to the radio at the time, and on the radio they were saying, oh, it's Halloween, ring in with your most scariest horror stories, blah blah blah. And this lady rang and she said, it's not a horror story, but it's something that I'd like to share with you all. And she said, so I have two sons. She said one of them has passed and they're twins. And she said, my other son kept seeing his twin. He kept sensing and seeing his brother. So she said, what I did is I contacted Jackie at Feathers, and my mum was like, who's this? And the lady said that Jackie really helped this lady, and her son communicate with her other son and his brother. So my mum was thinking, who's Jackie? I'm going to go and do some research. She did. She found Jackie from Feathers, and that's how it all began.
Oh, that's absolute. That's great, because I mean, Jackie is she, as we all know, I mean, she is amazing, and that's a really sweet story.
Yeah, well, Jackie, since then you've always been my inspiration. It's helped me so much over the years with the classes as well, because I was too young to go on the classes, so my mum did them for me. And she tried to help me. So you taught my mum how to ground and protect. which is really, really important when you're working with the paranormal. You can't stay open to spirit.
No.
Now, do you meditate to connect with spirit now, like in your current situation?
I do, yeah. So before, especially before I do a reading, I meditate. That's what Jackie's taught me to do anyway. I meditate just to see what comes forward, and I ground and protect with white light around me. I ask my guide to step forward. Just calms me as well, grounds me, so that I'm able to make that connection with people's loved ones.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, the
Now,
good thing
are you
as well,
also tutoring some other people about who want to get into this too? Like, if you look back at your when you said like you were 7 or 8 or whatever, are there young people that you deal with currently that sort of you think or they think they have psychic abilities and they want to nurture that? Do you teach them?
I get quite a lot of young customers coming to see me, and they have had the same experience as myself. And I have recommended meditation, grounding and protecting. I explain it step by step, but I also mention feathers. So if there are any unwanted spirit around them and they're getting quite nervous and scared about it, I do say, look, go and Google feathers and look at feathers front door, and imagine that spirit going to feathers, and Jackie will deal with them.
thanks
And it
for
normally
that.
works. Yeah, they normally message me back and say, oh, it's worked. But yeah, I do reassure people that do come to me and say, look, it will be okay. Don't be scared by it. Because that's what I would tell my younger self. Don't be scared by it and speak out. Like, tell people, tell your family. Because at college, I kept it quiet quite a lot of the time. I never really told my bandmates until one really spooky time, which I was that freaked out by. I did mention it because I did look like white as a ghost once when I saw a spirit.
You'd have blended in quite well then.
Oh gosh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You know, and music is such a fabulous vibration, isn't it? And you're a very accomplished musician, I know that. Do you think you work spiritually with your music? Because you know, you were introduced to spirit and music. You got that confirmation whilst you were at college, you know. And so, do you think that that's had an influence on you?
Well, they seem to happen to me at the same time, really. I was juggling both paranormal and music at the same time. But yes, what I do is normally when I sit at the piano, I get like I feel like what sort of music I want to write. So whether I want to write a chirpy tune or quite a gentle, slow tune. My spirit guide step forward. He's very good. He's very stubborn, but he's very good at telling me what to write. I often go with how I feel that day. But I've recently been doing a lot of music over lockdown. It's been fantastic.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
So what direction is it leading you into now with the music?
Oh, it's fabulous. So I've had quite a few inquiries asking, can I write music and play the piano record for a TV documentary which is based on mental health. It's very important at the moment, mental health, with what's going on in the world. So it's a pleasure and a privilege to be able to help raise that awareness. So
that's awesome.
I've also been asked to write piece of music for a short film as well, and that's to be continued at the moment. I'm in the middle of writing that. So
that's great, because I mean, especially in this current time that we're all in around the world, mental health is something that's, well, it should always be considered, but even now, I think stronger than ever, because you
Yeah.
know we're sort of trapped inside, or you know whatever, and you go out and you go like, oh my God, is that my neighborhood? I don't remember that house being there.
Yeah.
It's very odd right now.
Yeah, music, it's so soothing. You know, you can meditate to music on YouTube as well. And I
Yeah.
find music really helps with mental health. That's why I did it as well. And I felt like Spirit brought that to me, so thank you, Spirit.
Oh, that was my next question. Do you feel as though Spirit have, you know, you must be psychic, Megan.
I
They
Yeah.
definitely brought it to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
two
trust.
do go together.
Yeah, they do. I do trust
Yeah.
Spirit a lot. Yeah.
Have you written any meditation music that you've recorded that you meditate to yourself?
No, I haven't.
There we
That's
go.
something I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that one of the things that you do when you do readings for people, because you do, you know, you do internet readings for people, you see people in person as well, don't you? And I know that one of the unusual ways that you read is you do tea leaf readings for people, don't you?
I do. Oh yes, I do. It's fairly new to me, but it's
That's
sorry, Mike.
well, no, I think that's very interesting, because to me, tea leaf readings is sort of like, in a way, it's old school,
Yeah.
right? It's
Oh, I
like,
love
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
and that's fascinating.
I do love going old school. I do. But it's hard to explain tea leaf readings because people think, oh right, okay, so the tea leaves are in the cup. But I don't just read the tea leaves, it's through the mind's eye, which Jackie would understand. You know, you get given images from spirit as well as looking at the tea leaves in the cups. And I've had, oh gosh, I've had some really spooky things in readings. I've had names. Honestly, it's been really, really, really freaky. I've had names come through, even written by the tea leaves, and that is crazy to say. I never thought I could say that, but honestly, it is bizarre. Even I was like, what? And my customer was like, that's insane. And she took a photograph of that, and so did I. Frame it.
That's amazing. That is amazing to be able to do that and see it so clearly like that.
Yeah.
You use a crystal ball as well, don't you? But you use that, don't you hold that to your forehead as well to get that?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
I ask my client to hold the crystal ball, so I actually ask them if they're not grounded. I ask them to hold the crystal. Oh, I'm getting ringing in my ear. My left ear.
They're tuning you in.
I know. I feel like there's a spirit around you, Michael. Oh,
Yeah, I think there is,
yeah.
and it's ironically, it's Jackie's great uncle.
Yeah.
And his name is Oliver, which is the same name as my cat,
Yeah.
and he's in the house. And I don't bump into him because he's spirit, so but I feel him around periodically.
Well, I think he's tuning in. Yeah, I ask my clients to hold the crystal ball, and I ask them to imagine white light from their crown chakra, which is up here, running to the crystal ball. So that's also part of grounding for them, just to reassure them and make them feel a bit more calm, because sometimes they are nervous. And then I hold the crystal ball and see what energy I can feel in there. But I also ask for jewelry as well. So if they have jewelry on, or they want to bring a sentimental item from their loved one who's passed, or a photograph, that, you know, I do hold that as well.
So do you use like the crystal ball and other things that you've talked about? Are they sort of like a vehicle that helps you open up even more to spirit?
Yeah, it's right. It's like a little portal. But do you know, occasionally, well, throughout lockdown, funnily enough, I've had to do it all online and do email readings. And I was sat there twiddling my thumbs because I thought, right, okay, I'm sat in front of the laptop and obviously my client isn't physically with me. So I asked Spirit outright just to give me information, and I wrote it all down, like bullet points on a piece of paper, and then I typed it all up. And I didn't use any of those methods that I would normally use. So I think they are a great starting point if you're starting out reading and trying to connect with spirit. But you do, as you get older and you learn and you gain experience, I do feel like you don't need it, but they are great tools. And especially when when you want to go ghost hunting as well, psychometry especially.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I think other people, if you're reading somebody, I think that they feel more confident or more open about themselves if there is that sort of the crystal ball sort of syndrome between them, because I think that we're all conditioned to think of that as that's the mystical power.
Yeah,
And I think it helps other people.
definitely. I agree, definitely. Plus crystal balls, they look really pretty next to my Himalayan salt lamp.
There's one, I don't know if you can see it there. There's
Yeah.
the crystal ball that's there. Because crystal balls can amplify energy, can't they? Which is why you're doing the psychometry with that. But it's interesting what you said about, as like as you're older now, you're getting older, you're just a young whippersnapper anyway. You're just a young whippersnapper with a fantastic energy, and your energy is amazing, Megan. I've always known that you've been special right from the very first time that we met you. And as you said, your mum came to us because you were going through such a lot on that psychic level, not understanding, not being able to ground yourself. So your mum, God love her, how wonderful is that she came to do the classes at Feathers to learn how to get the gift under control, so she could help you, because you were too young for us. We won't teach anybody under the age of 18, and so because you were only 16, we wouldn't take you on board until you were nearly 18, and then with written consent you then came to Feathers yourself. And of course you're still part of Feathers now, you still do workshops and things with us now. But it's how essential is it, do you think, for a young person to have that support from your family? I know you said, if you're troubled by this, please tell somebody, tell your family. So how important was it for you to have that support there with somebody who was willing to go out to understand that gift, even though she thought she didn't have that gift herself, which she does, of course, she's a fabulous healer.
Oh, thank you anyway for the lovely words. I think it's really important, and I do highly recommend any parents out there who experience now with their child or a sibling, if they see that they are struggling quite young and they don't know what to do, or they feel, because I've had quite a lot actually of inquiries asking what do I do because my toddler can see things, and I've just said, look, I do recommend contacting Feathers. However, if you want to just try this grounding and protecting at the moment, then do that. And I do describe the light, which I've explained earlier. But with the support network that I had from my family was absolutely amazing, and I can't thank them enough. And it's still here. Gosh, my mum, she's amazing. But it was lovely because as I grew up, I didn't know much about my great grandma, my great granddad, because they sadly passed away before I was born. So some of my family, not all of them, but some members of my family were quite skeptical until I mentioned a few things that I would never have known, and then they believed. But even though they didn't believe, they still supported me. And I really feel it's so important, because that child doesn't know or understand what is going on at all. And most importantly, you need to reassure them that it's not scary. because spirit aren't there to scare you. They just want attention, or they need help to cross over. So it isn't scary at all. It's not a scary thing.
Yeah, because I think from doing rescue mediums and speaking with Jackie over these past few years, is that spirit, I mean, they don't really want to scare you. They want to communicate.
Yeah.
They've got something to say, and they want someone to listen.
Yeah. Honestly, I believe that everybody has the gift, but some people are more in tune with it. I honestly believe that everyone can sense something, but some people are a bit scared to say anything, like, "Ooh, is that real? Is that just a coincidence, or is that me sensing something?" But I think that everybody has it. I really do. Some people.
Yeah, I agree with you. And some people think that they're mad, that they're like insane, because they go like, "Oh, I saw this, or I hear this," and it's like, no, you're not insane. You're just in a different realm, as it were. Like, you're communicating with spirit, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And especially since where you went to music school, and I mean, I found it fascinating when you said that you're in the basement and it used to be a morgue.
Nobody knew that. Honestly, I used to say to my friend, "I'm sure that it's not right in here. It's haunted." And they didn't really believe me at the time. But there was this one time that we were all waiting to go into class, and I just nipped to the bathroom and nipped to the ladies. And when I walked in, it was the old taps, old tiles, that sort of like you see in a film. And I just thought, oh, it's fine. Nobody was in there, just me. And I shut the door in the cubicle, and I heard someone next to me in the cubicle. And I saw a shadow on my left, and I looked, and I thought, who's that? So anyway, I walked out, and I put my head down because I was really scared at the time. I'm using it, I'm nervous. There was no one there, and I washed my hands like this, really quick, and I just zoomed out. And I actually said to the whole class, "I'm not joking." I was white as a ghost, and I said, "I'm not joking. There was somebody in that cubicle," and I was really disturbed by it. It's classic that you see in a film, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And you just think, oh, but
Megan,
sorry.
You must be one of the only people that I know who is incredibly psychic, very, very mediumistic, able to communicate with spirit, wants to do paranormal investigations, but is absolutely frightened to death when you go into a haunted building.
Yeah. I do run for the hills. But I love it though. I do love it. It's amazing. It just amazes me every day. And that's what fascinates me. I want to do more, and that's why I'm encouraging younger people to go for it and do it. It's just amazing. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah,
that's true. I just want to ask you, because I think we're getting near the end of our time on this one, but I want to ask you, Megan, because I've noticed you have a tattoo on your right arm.
I do. I have a few. So, can you see it?
It's gorgeous.
A cherry blossom flower and angel wings, and I have a blue rose here, and I've got a feather there. That represents feathers.
No, that's great. I mean, I got a tattoo on my lower back a while ago for a show I was doing, and it's very, very tiny, not like yours. And it's a salamander, and it's just one color. And I got to tell you, it felt like somebody was smoking a cigar and stubbing it out on my back. It was so painful. Was yours painful?
I had a secret. I used numbing cream, and I put that much on. I couldn't feel my arm at all. I was so scared of the needle. I think it was a
That's
few
very, very
hours
clever.
until I got the feeling back.
What we'll do is we're going to let everybody know what where your website is, Megan, so that they can contact you, and you know, hopefully they're going to connect with the blogs that you're going to be do the Psychic Diary, which I'm really looking forward to, and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jackie. It is going to be great. We have a Psychic Diary, and Megan, like, if she will, and I think she will, contributes to it every as frequently as she can, because I think it's fascinating. And Megan, I got to say, you have a great way of speaking that is not airy fairy, but is like really sort of down to earth, as it were.
You just have to be real and reassure people in this sort of a line of work, really, you know, because it's a serious matter. Spirit is serious. I take my job very seriously.
Yeah, you do. You like to have a laugh, don't you? Like I do, but you take your work very, very seriously as well. Well, Michael's right. He's so right about how you are. And I've said this to you before. Everything about you comes from a genuine place. Everything you know, it comes from the heart, and it comes from wanting to help other people. You know, that's where it comes from. And you know, you wouldn't make up stories to impress somebody. You just would not do that, because everything is about honesty, and you're one of the most honest, most gentle, most kindest people I know. For a young person, I've watched you grow spiritually, you know, since you were 16 years of age, and you really are a great representation of youth. And so I hope people can get the younger people, as well as older people, obviously, but the younger people can connect with you in this way, and that they can follow your diary and your work, and see where it leads everyone.
And also make those people that are following it not shy to talk about what they feel their ability is. And like it's like, what is it? Like, don't hide under a rock. You know, just get out there and tell people what you know, like you did about your great grandparents. And I think that's fascinating, because I mean, there must be lots of people out there that are just like, wow, I know this, or I've seen this, or I've been here before. And it's not just deja vu, it's maybe completely spiritual.
You just need to believe in yourself and believe what you are being given from Spirit. You need to believe that, and trust Spirit as well. Trust them, because whatever you
struggled, didn't you? You struggled with that for a while. That was a confidence level with you, that you knew what you were being given, but you couldn't quite believe that. That's how honest you are. You couldn't quite believe that what you were getting was right. So every time Spirit said, yes, this is right, and you went away and proved it was right, it's like, oh my God, I got it right. Yes, of course you got it right. But that's how honest you are about what you do. So yeah, Michael's right. You know, it is like, you know, don't hide under a rock here, and be confident that what Spirit are giving you is right. Yeah, don't be frightened of it. The only thing we need to be frightened of is the living. We don't need to be frightened of those who have gone before us. It's the living that we need to be, and COVID, of course. Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing your diaries, Megan. And
thank you very much.
Thank you for today.
No, thank you for your time as well today. We appreciate it. And I hope everything returns back to normal for you, Michael.
Oh yeah, with his hair. So happy hair day.
If you can, if either one of you can materialize like a hairdresser to come in, as opposed to the ghost that apparently is behind me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it's gone now. But the ringing in my ear, it's gone now. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.